Yeah, well, that was wonderful, Lisa. Thanks very much for that. Our next speaker is Mark Davis. Now, you'd know his face. He's been on countless SPS documentaries throughout, the last 10, 15 years, 20 years. I don't want to make him sound too old, but he's been around a long time. And he's, as a journalist, if he was a football player, you would say of him, he put his head where other football players wouldn't put their feet. He's been around. He's covered many difficult situations. North Korea, the famine in North Korea. I mean, there's too many things to mention about what he's given us in the form of knowledge about the injustices in the world. He was also there at the beginning of the after the revelations of the terrible things that were going on in Iraq. He was there with Julian in London when he had these meetings with the Guardian, and he tried to guide him, Julian, and they were very close. And so it'll be a great insight. So please listen to this wonderful man who's now a barrister, trying to fight the good fight, but he's also an award-winning journalist. So please welcome Mark Davis.
Thank you. I don't have a prepared speech, and it will be a short speech because so much of the Assange story has been told. I'm exhausted by it, and I know probably everyone here is exhausted by it, and I bless you that you've stayed committed when so few have. I have to be blunt about it, so few have. When I was frequently with Julian before he fell into the jaws of the beast, he and I would give an estimate of the risk he was taking. So as a journalist, I've always been very aware that people are endangering themselves by their actions, or certainly in doing a story. And it's part of the job, a risk you take yourself, but you're also carrying the weight of a risk someone else is taking. I would never have dreamt in 5 lifetimes that Julian Assange would be where he is today for what he did, which was a great thing, what he did. It took enormous courage and almost unparalleled focus for that man to do what he did. He knew there'd be a consequence. He was more dramatic than me in what he thought the consequence would be, but he was right. And here we are, this man in a cage, suffering the whims of laws that would have been unimaginable 10 years ago. The laws haven't changed too much in the last decade. What has changed is the application of the laws, and it's not just to do with Julian. I think something has dramatically happened in Australia and perhaps across the West in general, where we've always had these horrific laws on our statute books, but there's been some understanding in the English common law that you don't apply them just because there's 20 years, 25 years, 30 years to any sort of minor offence. It didn't used to be applied. And yet here we are, as if Julian is a mass murderer, applying laws that would never have been applied, even 10 years ago, would never have been applied. We know each thing that's been applied to Julian is unique, and the most depressing part of it is that no one really gives a shit in the common society. No one cares anymore. We've been so disconnected from government and law now, we just sort of turn away. Most of us, except you. Thank you for not turning away. So the worst case scenario for Julian will continue to unfold unless there's some dramatic political intervention. The worst thing you can imagine. When you look at the statute books, go to the bottom line. Don't say, he'll be let off. Go to the bottom line. Whatever it is, he'll get it. And it's not just Assange. 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it would have been inconceivable that Australia would torture and mistreat refugees, as we now so commonly do, and barely anyone looks up. David McBride, who I am acting for, His case will be next year. I can't tell you the number of people that say to me, oh, they won't punish him, will they? He revealed war crimes in Afghanistan. They won't put him in jail. I do not have that opinion. I look at the bottom of the offence and say it's 20 years. It is not inconceivable that it would happen to David. I hate to say it, David, wherever you are. I believe we will get you as light a sentence as we can. But this has been a cultural shift, and Julian has sort of gone down this vortex at the front as it goes down the drain. But I think he is just the first. So it does mean there's more to come. And thank you for your efforts. I have no optimistic note to end on, I hate to say it, but thank you for your efforts.
Thank you very much, Mark. That was, I could say it was depressing, but that's not the best word for what you just revealed there, because we are living in the dark time, and governments and courts and just don't seem to follow the letter of the law, and things get perpetuated. And we look at a situation where Julian is now, trial after trial after trial, and the Americans have already said, if we lose this one, we'll just start another one. There you go. If we lose it, we're just going to begin again. Okay, another 10 years. So we really do have to change our mindset to get our government and our press. Now, I can't press the word enough. We have to get our press behind us. Until we do that, then we're pretty legless. We're sort of we're working our way back the evolutionary scale, if you like. We're heading back into the slime. So let's try and motivate our newspapers, our television presenters, in whichever way you can. Our next speaker is going to be, and probably our last speaker, because I know you've all got a life, will be Gabriel, Julian's brother, who is the filmmaker, one of the filmmakers here tonight, and he'll finish off the night. And thank you very much, everyone, and thank you very much, Gabriel, for a movie that I believe is very, very soul-searching.
Right, thank you. I won't take up much of your time, but I just, thanks for all the support over the years. I know a lot of you have, been behind this for a long time, and keeping it all going, and I know it keeps Julian going, and it's just really good to see. The film, is as much about activism and what motivates us to keep going as it is about Julian and John's fight. So really, that's part of the inspiration is all the people who are out on the streets, all the activists who really make this happen, change the political climate for the charges against Julian to be dropped and the extradition to be rejected. So just a big thank you again to everybody for coming out, and keep doing what you're doing. Thanks.